Hi guys, it's Aegis here. Today I'm going to do a Chaos Breaker deck profile. I think this will be the Lane Joker deck profile that most people want to see compared to the others like Messiah, Glendios, and the leaders. So I'm doing this first. I will also be doing the other three later on. But I still need to do a little bit more testing before I am happy with the result. So let's start with this. With Cardfight Vanguard, I'm running Carbon. He's still a very great first Vanguard that helps you search a Great One or lower. Regard to call from your deck if your opponent have a lock card and he gets into the soul. So helps you to build up your soul amount if you need them. So it's here. And going on with Braveries, I'm running 4 Chaos Breaker Crisis. He is the new Chaos Breaker with a strike skill. So his skill is to counterblast 1 when he is appears in the Vanguard circle or when a Starvader Gene is tried on him. Then your opponent will need to select one of the Regard and lock it, which is a very strong ability. Well, you can first ride him before you can strike and lock something just by counterblast 1, so it's very cheap cost. Do remember you need to counterblast with a Starvader card in a damage zone, so do be careful if you are running him in a deck that you have some non-Starvader cards. And then the second skill is when a lock card is unlocked, in this turn, if you didn't use this unit skill to retire unit, then you can retire that unlocked unit and you will draw 1 card. So basically it's a once per turn skill that didn't force you to use on the first time. So you can let your opponent to unlock something first, but you want it to stay, you leave it, and then when the other one unlocked and you want to retire, then you can still do the retire and draw, but only once. What this card's strong is, you can first, for example, you have already riding on something, and then you ride him, counterblast 1 to force your opponent to lock 1, and then you strike on him, and then counterblast 1 again and lock another card. So you just by counterblasting 2, you can lock 2 cards. Unless you're facing decks like Messiah that will first unlock during the turn and make you trouble, and second, there's a Messiah card that in the trial deck that you cannot lock. So when you ask your opponent to select a Regard to lock, they can select that unit and then it won't lock. So you will just waste a counterblast. So do be careful when you use the skill against Messiah. But one thing about this card is good against Messiah compared to the build before that you basically can't do much against Messiah is you can retire units when they unlock, not only in the end phase. So you can break their combos by seeing the target that you want to kill being unlocked, and you can kill them and draw a card. So sometimes it saves you, sometimes you will find him use this against Messiah, but generally he is a very strong card against all clans except Messiah. That's what I would say. And next I'm running 3 of the old Chaos Breaker, mainly for the Chaos Breaker name and for a easy lock like counterblast 1 and draw 1 Starvader card to lock. Is higher than the cost is higher than Crisis, but his LB4 is still helpful in different situations, so I still put him in. So here are the frees. Yeah, and let's get into the tools. First I'm running 3 Strange Dragon, which is a new card. His skill is first, when he appears in the Riga circle, if you have a Chaos Vanguard, then in this turn this unit will get the following skill. When this unit attacks or boosts, then if that attack is targeting your opponent's Vanguard, then your opponent will need to select one of their Riga to lock. If they cannot, then this unit will get 5000 power for the battle. So it's a very strong card that forcing your opponent to lock their cards, or he will gain power. And the second skill is GB1. If your opponent have a lock card, then this unit gain the ability to boost. So he will be a very strong 9k booster, or maybe a 14k booster, depending on if he's appearing on the turn, because the first skill only activates when he enters the Riga circle, so it will be once only. But I find him very useful because there is a sort of a combo that you can do with him, and I can talk about it later. And next, I'm running 3 Photons. As you all know, Photons is a strong card in Star Vader, basically a free lock card, so he's there. And then next, I'm running 2 of this new guy. I think it's called Globuladia. I don't know. Yeah, sort of that name. So his skill is to counterblast 1 when this unit appears in the Riga circle. If you have a Star Vader, grade 3 or higher Vanguard, then you can pay the cost. If you do, your opponent will need to select one of the card from the drop zone and place it in the Riga circle as a lock card. And then this unit will first gain 3000 power, and if your opponent have 2 or more lock card, then he will gain another 3k power. So basically he can be a 15k attacker, which is a very nice number to have with a 7k boost to hit 22k, and you can do all sorts of things. And even with him you can just go up to 24k, so hitting basic numbers. And what more important is like Nubatama, you can just drag Rigas from the drop zone to the Riga circle as a lock card, so helps you increase the number of lock cards you need, because you always want your opponent to have more lock cards on their field so they can't do much stuff. Yep. And then I'm running 2 Colony Makers. You all know the skill counterblast 1. If your opponent have a lock card, then he or she can call something to help you out. Grade 1 lower Star Vader, so helps you to call Sync to do the soul charge and counter charge, or call something to do the Omega Lock booster, something like that. So it's in there. And then one of her, the promo, counterblast 2. If your opponent have a lock card, and if you have a Star Vader Vanguard, then you can force your opponent to select 1 card from their hand and place in a Riga circle that does not have any card on it as a lock card. So it's a hand control card. In my previous build, I didn't put her in because I think she's a little bit too heavy in cost. But after a few testing, I think she's still good to have 1 in the deck, just in case you need to do some hand controls, or if your opponent didn't even have a field to get you to lock, then if you have a lock card, then you can still use her to force your opponent to drop a hand. So still handy a little bit. And so that's my tools. let's get into the great ones. First, one of him, very simple. If boost attack hits the Vanguard, then you can Omega lock one card. So still strong, but well, in like the current situation, you can always see the whiteboarding skills like everywhere. So I don't think he can survive that long. So I only put one just for the early pressure, or yeah, basically early pressure. And then next I'm running free sync, the main counter charge and soul charge resources, and very easy to be searched by, for example, Carbon or Colony Makers. So she's here, important. And next I'm running two of this Metro X Dragon, I think that's how it's called. It's a new card, so his skill is to first GB1. If this unit is boost, if your opponent has 2 or more lock cards in the battle, he will get 4,000 power. And when the battle ends, if the attack hits the Vanguard, then you can Omega lock one card. So he's basically a 11k booster with same skill as him, which first, if you have him gaining 5,000 power with him, you still be reaching 25k, and with him you can reach 26k. So like a good number tuning, you won't always hit key numbers like 21. Usually you do 20, or maybe you can go up to 24, 25, 26. But it depends on the situation. But the Omega locking skill is important, so I help him in. And next I'm running 4 of the new Strife Order for Chaos. First, the skill is if you are going to strike on top of a Starvader Vanguard, then it will become a Strife Order. So usually you have, because in my build I have my Great Freeze are all Starvaders. And then the second skill is to Soul Blast 1 when you discard this card as a strike cost. Then if you have a Chaos Vanguard, then you can pay the cost in review. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck and search for up to 1 Chaos card, add to your hand and shuffle your deck. Recently I saw a ruling of people sending QA to official and ask if I strike a non-Chaos G unit on top of a Chaos Vanguard, can the skill be used? And it seems the answer is no, that you cannot Soul Blast 1 as search. So for now I'm assuming you can only use the search skill when you strike a Chaos unit, G unit. Let me know if you know something more, or maybe it's wrong, but at the moment that's how I read it. But still, this is a very strong card. First, it's a Starvader Strife Order, so you don't need to use the old Strife Order that is not Starvader, and which sometimes ruin your counterblast, ruin your soul, ruin your hand, discarding, all sort of things. Yeah, and then I'm running 4 of the new Perfect Arts. So her skill is first just like normal Perfect Arts, but she protects all the Starvader units, so even regards, so very helpful compared to the old ones that only protect a Vanguard. And then the second, and then, well, not second skill, but like extra skill, in the battle you won't hit, and after that if your opponent have 3 or more lock cards, you can draw 1. So you won't use the drawing skill that easily, because you normally won't have 3 or more lock cards from your opponent's build. But if you do, then it's a bonus, which is why I like her, because sometimes I do, and that drawing one saves me. And here are my ones. And before entering the triggers lineup, there's one great pseudo card that I put in the deck, which is our old friend Dusttail Unicorn. For people who don't know, the skill is to counter +1 and put this unit into the soul. If you have a lane Joker Vanguard, and if your opponent have a lock card, then you can select one of your opponent regard and lock it. So, well, why do I have him here? In my build before I didn't, but then last week I went to Japan and like fighting people using Chaos Breaker, and I see people using him, so I think that it's effective because you can first search by carbon, search by colony maker, and well, it's another sort of lock source, even though you need your opponent to have a lock card before using this skill. But I think it's useful, so taking one always helpful and help you get numbers. So yeah, that's why I have one of him. And then get into the trigger lineup. First, 7 crits. I usually like the ratio of 7 crits and then with 5 draws compared to the 8 crits and 4 draws. That's personal reference. So, and this for locking back row is important. So, if you are playing a Starfighter deck, then you should have 4 of this. And then next, 5 draws and 4 heals. Very sort of basic lineup, and you can always tune to what you want. And well, this new draw trigger is actually very helpful because it gets into the soul and gain 3000 power to one of your unit, help you fill your soul. So that's what I like. And then let's talk about the G zone first. If you're playing Chaos, then you should have for Chaos Universe. Even though if you're not using him as a first strike, if you are, then you usually force your opponent to drop one hand first without the second part of the skill to lock another card. But if you already have something face up in the G zone and strike him, then you can lock an extra card. So it's a very great field control card that basically if you're playing Chaos, you just have to put him in. And the next, I'm running 2 of the GRs. So the skill is first GB3 and Soul +1, and then flip a face down G-Zone card face up, and then select one of your hand at this card. If you have a Chaos part or heart, then your opponent will need to select 2 of their hands and then place in a different regard circle as a lock card. After that, if your opponent damage is 4 or below, then you can select one of their lock card on the field and place that in the damage zone as a face down card. So this card is a very great hand and damage control card. So you're forcing your opponent to lose 2 hands, and then if the damage is not up to 5, then you can send 1 card to the damage zone. So usually if they are on 4, you use the skill, put them on 5, and they are already losing 2 hands, so they need to use most of the hands to guard. So that's why he's very strong, and that is also one reason that I'm putting 2 of him, because you can do it 2 turns and your opponents usually will be dead by then, and he's greater than a GB8 because your opponent need to call to an open regard circle with GB8, but this one you just need to call to the different regard circle. And then next I'm running for Blue Ball Dragon. The skill is to Soul Blast 1 and do a personal flip, and then if you have a Star Raider heart, and for each face-up card in your G-Zone, your opponent will need to select one of the regard and lock it. And then the second skill is GB3. For each of your opponent regard lock card, then your front row Star Raider unit will all gain 3000 power. So, which is a very strong power buff and a very simple lock card, which you only Soul Blast 1 and you can guarantee yourself to at least lock 1. And with the Chaos Breaker Crisis, you on strike, you counter blast 1 and force your opponent to lock 1, and then do this, lock another 1. And if you already have something G unit face up, then you can lock 2 cards and immediately gain the power like 6k just from this. And if you already lock another card, then you will gain 9k for the front row. So a very strong unit. I didn't actually get a chance to feel his power because I've been fighting Messiah, so by placing him against Messiah will just basically kill myself. But Blue Ball is actually a very strong card for Star Raider. And then next I'm running one Amnesty Messiah. The reason that I put this card in, one is again Messiah. So because for Messiah they will unlock themselves and they will keep locking you. If you don't put in Amnesty Messiah, you usually don't have other options to unlock during your phase, your turn. So I'm taking one in, and when you have nothing to do and your opponent have 3 or more lock cards, then you can still use him, unlock them, and then gain the power and a crit for a sudden strike. So taking 1 is okay. If you want to put more, you can try to find space, but I usually don't find much space. And if you really find him useless, you can always flip him with this, so not a big problem. And then let's enter with the G units. So the first G unit is a new card, that's Regen. So the skill is to Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed in the Guardian Circle, if there's 2 or more lock cards, then you may pay the cost if you do draw 1 card. So what is good about this card is you don't only count your opponent's lock card, you're also counting yourself. So against Messiah, if they lock you 2 or more, then you can just place him in the Guardian Circle and draw a card, which is very nice. And a guaranteed draw is always good for Star Raider because you need hands to do a lot of stuff. And then next I'm running the G Guard from the GB8 booster, counter blast 1 and flip it G Guardian, then lock whatever number of cards you want, and then your opponent need to lock the same amount from the back row. So this is still very important in a Link Joker deck, especially with decks that will have a strong back row, or like Aqua Force that will switch places, or like durables that they will have roll to rest the units, then there's a chance that you use her to lock all the back rolls. And then, and this will be handy after you lock 3 cards in your turn. So you block first and then lock 3 cards, and then use MSD to unlock 3 and gain the crit. So it's sort of a little tech that you can use. And lastly, I'm running 3 of the Destiny Guardian. The skill is when this unit is placed in the Guardian Circle, you can select up to 2 lock cards and unlock them. If you do unlock 2 lock cards, then you gain 10,000 shield for this. I was using the Death Star Raider before, but by locking my units, I don't actually like that, except for this, because this at least I can do some defensive play. Before that, I'm only gaining 5,000 power on shield, so I would prefer using Destiny Guardian. Also, with to combo with Chaos Speaker Crisis, I can unlock my opponent's unit and then retire them and draw a card, so you won't actually lose much by using him. And again, another tech for facing Messiah, just to keep your field as clean as possible, also gaining the power, because for Link Joker G Guardians, you don't actually find a good card that will gain shield for non-Messiah decks, so that's why I put 3. And I think that's all about the deck, and I can actually show you a little bit on some text. So this is one combo, I would say combo that you use. So for example, first you have this or whatever great piece you have, and your opponents, assuming they have a full field or they have 3 regards, let's say 3 regards. So first you write Crisis, counterblast 1 to lock 1, and then you stride on him, counterblast 1 and lock another one, so that's 2. And then next, if your opponent is with 3 regards, then for example you can use Unicorn, you can use Photon to lock them, or you can also do that, but usually not. I would say these 2, for example, to lock the 3rd card, or if they do not have one, they only have 2 regards, then this comes in handy and put the 3rd block card, and then now you use the skill, Soul Blast 1, flip 1, drop 1, and then force your opponent to drop 2 cards. Then your opponent will have a full lock field, 5 cards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if you have a lot of counterblast, then you can use her. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from here, there's already 3 cards in hand, so usually this will help you to win the game. No guarantee, but a little tech. Yep, so I think that's it for this deck profile. Let me know how you feel about this, or maybe you have a different idea, you can also let me know. Yeah, so before that, I will see you next time in the next deck profile, or maybe in the next fight videos. and I will see you guys later. Bye.